Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 2024 opening ceremony for Black History Month. My name is Femi Are, and I am of Nigerian descent. I am a senior currently studying chemical engineering, and I am the current president of the National Society of Black Engineers. Joining me today, I have my fellow presidents of the Union of Black Students, also known as TUBS. To my right is Ms. Cassandra Amanfu, who is of Ghanaian descent. She's a senior majoring in industrial engineering, and she is the president of the African Student Association. And to my left, I have Ms. Gania Lafontaine, who is of Haitian descent, and she is a junior majoring in biology, and she's the president of the Caribbean Student Organization. And the three of us will be serving as your mistresses of ceremony today. We are so happy and excited that you are all here to share this moment with us and celebrate the achievements and contributions of Black people. This month is an opportunity to honor the past, discuss the present, and imagine the future. Throughout February, we will have a wonderful series of events planned highlighting Black excellence across many fields. We hope this month is educational, inspiring, and unifying for everyone. Thank you for being part of this special ceremony as we kick off the Black History Month 2024. It is my pleasure to turn the program over to Ms. Gania.
Please stand for the national anthem, which will be sung by the soulful voice of Miss Ivana Nolby, a first-year student majoring in computer science. Ivana, please come forward.
Thank you, Ivana, for that wonderful performance of the national anthem. At this time, I would now like to invite Dr. David Jones, our diversity officer, for opening remarks.
Thank you. Well, happy Black History Month. All right. We should feel good about what we're celebrating today. Good afternoon. It's an honor to stand before you this afternoon and bring greetings at NJIT's annual Black History Month opening ceremony. We gather today to honor and celebrate Black history, culture, and people. Originally coined by historian Carter G. Woodson as Negro History Week during the second week of February, this period during the calendar year has evolved into something beautiful and significant. And let me be clear that while February is a designated month in the calendar year for Black History Month, Black history is American history and is celebrated and recognized 24/7, 365. And we are so lucky to have a leap year this year, so we get an extra day to celebrate. We also use this moment to reflect on the resiliency, the contributions, and triumphs of Black individuals throughout our history. As we immerse ourselves in the thoughts of our distinguished speakers at today's programs and the talents of the performers, this program is also an opportunity to deepen our understanding and appreciation of the Black diaspora, amplify Black voices, and commit to building a more inclusive and equitable future for Black people and who we celebrate today. The theme for Black History Month at NJIT is Our Roots, Our Rhythms, Our Stories, celebrating the tapestry of Black family, artistry, and unity. As we reflect on the theme for this month, I am drawn to a quote by Maya Angelou, where she says, "The more you know of your history, the more liberated you are. The more you know of your history, the more liberated you are." My friends, for us to know where we are going, we must know where we are from. Although some of it, for us as Black African Americans, has been erased or falsely told over time, we must know that our history, who sacrificed for us to be here, the stories of our ancestors, and those who persisted through forced enslavement, Jim Crow, segregation, civil rights movement, and even present-day racism and racial injustice. I often reflect on my family and the people who came before me, so I'm able to stand here today. I take those stories with me each day and use it as a source of inspiration for greater hope and opportunity, and I encourage you to do the same with your own stories. I encourage you to let this moment be a moment of renewal and an opportunity to reflect on your roots, to embrace the rhythms of your journey and the journey of those who came before you, and to use your voice to tell your story. Through this, you will celebrate the tapestry of the Black family and have a deeper appreciation of the unity that is created within. Before I do take my seat, I must take this moment to acknowledge and offer gratitude to those involved in making today and the month-long series of events possible. To the Black History Month Committee, if you are in this room, please stand and be recognized. Thank you to this committee who has been working tirelessly over the last several months. Your contributions, your creativity, and passion to help bring this moment into reality is greatly, greatly appreciated. To my colleagues who were steadfast in the planning, making sure today's event was successful, Lucy Tawasi and Sanjetta Worley, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. To the student leaders who are part of today's program and participate in the planning, thank you for your student leadership and commitment to ensuring your peers have remarkable programs to attend this month. Please, all of our students involved in today's event and throughout the month, please stand and be recognized. To my colleague, Dr. Angela Garrison, and the Office of Government and Community Relations, as always, thank you for your collaboration and partnership in helping to launch our Black History Month speaker series. Thank you. Please stand and be recognized. And finally, thank you to some of our newest members of the NJIT community, Dr. Jonathan Wesley and Robin Dock of the Office of Inclusive Excellence. Please join me one more time in a round of applause for everyone that has had a role in making today so wonderfully great as we celebrate Black History Month at NJIT. At this time, I would like to invite Mr. Shamir McKenzie, our residence coordinator, to come forward and lead us in a special performance. Mr. Yes, please. Brother can sing. Mr. McKenzie will be singing the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. This powerful song has been an inspiration and a rallying cry for the African American community over 100 years. If you're able, I ask you to join me and rise to your feet, and let's welcome him to the podium for the singing of the Black National Anthem. The song is also listed in your program.
If you please, you are free to sing along. my God, true to our native land.
Thank you, Shamir, for such an inspiring version of Lift Every Voice and Sing. Now, it is a true pleasure and privilege to welcome you all on behalf of the NJIT student body. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and members of our diverse community, we extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to you. Our theme this year is Our Roots, Our Rhythms, Our Stories, celebrating the tapestry of Black family artistry and unity. Today's event is a celebration of not only Black History Month, but also the vital role that Black families and communities play in the beautiful mosaic of our diverse society. We come together to not only honor the exceptional contributions of Black individuals throughout history, but also to shine a spotlight on the strength, resilience, and unity that have been the hallmark of Black families and communities. We honor the rich heritage, artistic expressions, and profound unity that define Black families, while recognizing how they seamlessly integrate within the broader tapestry of our multicultural community. This afternoon is a testament to the power of diversity and inclusion, showcasing how the stories, rhythms, and artistry of Black families enrich and strengthen the fabric of our collective history. It is through the sharing of these stories and experiences that we foster a greater understanding and appreciation of the contributions of Black families to our shared narrative. As we embark on this journey through history and culture, let us remember that the strength of our community lies in our unity, our willingness to learn from one another, and our shared commitment to creating a more equitable and inclusive society. Thank you for joining us in the celebration of intertwined tapestry of Black family artistry and unity within our diverse and harmonious community. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Mary Beth Boger, Vice President of Student Affairs and Dean of Students, to bring some brief remarks and recognize our esteemed guest. Dean Boger, always a true champion of all students and student causes. Mary Beth Boger is a distinguished leader in the field of education, currently serving as the Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students. She is committed to nurturing the holistic well-being of students. Her passion for student success is deeply rooted in her firm belief that thriving students are academically successful and emotionally and mentally equipped to face learning and life challenges. In her current role, Mary Beth Boger oversees a broad portfolio of crucial areas, including residence life, counseling and psychological services, campus health and wellness services, and student life. Under her astute leadership, her team is focused on creating a vibrant and coordinated campus experience where students are empowered to develop and utilize their intellectual, professional, emotional, social, and relational skills to achieve academic success. Mary Beth earned her MA and PhD in Educational Leadership and Policy from the State University of New York at Buffalo.
Good afternoon, everyone. You know, when they start reading about me, I'm trying to go the other way. I'm like, stop. It's really a pleasure to be here today, and I don't have a long remarks because we have a lot of folks speaking today, so I'm going to do what I'm supposed to be doing. But what I do want to say is just a couple of sentences. Really and truly is that, thank you to all those that planned this event. And most importantly, what I want to leave with you today is just as we remember the past and we understand the present, I want us to continue to remember to celebrate who we are as Black individuals, because that celebration will carry on into the future. So my job today was really to welcome our esteemed guests that are in the room today, and for a change, I'm going to follow directions so we can get this moving. So our esteemed guests today, and please hold your applause if you can, but if not, it's okay. We're here for a celebration, so go ahead and do it. So, our esteemed guests in the room today, please, if you can raise your hand or stand if you're able. Dr. Jason Baines, Board of Trustees. Our wonderful president, ninth president of NJIT, and First Lady Gina. So that's be Dr. Tech Lim and Gina. Sorry about that. And guess what? I even made the list. All right. So, Andrew Christ, our Senior Vice President for Real Estate Development and Capital Operations. We all know Dr. Angela Gerritsen. Katie Hagman, Chief of Staff. Holly Stern, our General Counsel and Vice President in Legal Affairs. Dr. Moshe Kam, Dean, Newark College of Engineering. All right. And my dear friend, and if you ever want to have a really great dinner, Ms. Angelica Ogando, Hispanic and Latinx Leadership Council. Where are you, Angela? There she is. Thank you. So we thank you all for being here today. We're really excited to have everyone. And my dear friend who I spoke with, which one you want me to do? I know who they all are. Him? David already talked to you guys. How many times all right, everybody give David Jones another round of applause. I'm sorry. Y'all cracking me up. We're going to do a test to make sure you all remember those names. But at this point, I would like to ask to return to the stage Ms. Gania, who will introduce our next speaker.
Tech Lim is the 9th president of NJIT, one of the most diverse, innovative, and entrepreneurial universities in the United States. NJIT is ranked by the Wall Street Journal as the #2 public institution in America and 19th amongst all public and private universities. Dr. Lim began his tenure as NJIT's leader in July of 2022 after serving as interim president of the University of Texas at Arlington. Please help me welcome to the podium, President Tech Lim.
Thank you, Ms. Gania Lafontaine. I just like that sound of the name, you know. So good afternoon, Highlanders. Good afternoon. Welcome. First, let me acknowledge some of the dignitaries here today. I know my favorite Dean of Students, okay, and Vice President for Student Affairs, favorite, right? Even though she has called out your names, I want to do it again one more time because I'm going to take a different spin to this. First of all, how many of you know what the Board of Trustees does? Okay? You better raise your hand, Dr. Baines. Well, to make it very simply, they are my boss, my supervisor. So I got 11 of them. How many of you have 11 boss? I do, all right. First, let me acknowledge Trustee Jason Baines, again, who is joining us today in spite of his very, very busy schedule as a surgeon. He saved life, essentially. Arms and legs is important, all right, okay. And, the Board of Trustees that we have, okay, is one of the reasons why I'm here. They are the most innovative, most collaborative, and most supportive board that I've ever seen. They are here on this campus a lot. You see Dr. Jason Baines representing the trustee here tomorrow. They'll be here tomorrow for the Board of Trustees meeting. They were here yesterday. Dennis Toff, who is another Board of Trustees member, show up in my office and say hi. He was here lecturing. So we have an incredible group of Board of Trustees. So again, thank you, Dr. Jason Baines, for all that you do for NJIT. For zero salary, by the way. Secondly, I do want to thank everyone who have worked tirelessly to put together this fine set of events and programs throughout the entire Black History Month. I know Dr. David Jones has called up some names, but I do want to acknowledge everyone, okay, who's contributed to the success or the success to be of this coming month. Please stand up. Students, faculty, staff, please stand up and be recognized. Thank you. Come on. Students as well. Thank you for all that you do for the Black History Month and beyond. Finally, and then I'm going to go to my regular scheduled programming. Finally, my gratitude to the cabinet members and the deans who are present here today. Raise your hand if you are a cabinet member and a dean. It has been a great pleasure for me to work with all of you this past 1.5 years, since my arrival here on July 1st of 2022. It's been a great pleasure working with every one of them. It's fun. It doesn't feel like work, right, honey? And it's great. And then one last thing before I move on, your First Lady, Gina Lim, who is always here, she spent more time here than our home in Livingston, literally. I'm going to embarrass her a little bit. If you have not seen her fingernails, check it out before you leave, all right? It's decked with all NJIT. One time she had the whole Highlander face on one of the fingernails. I don't know how she did it, but she did it. Thank you, honey, for being such a great ambassador of the university. You know, I am humbled to stand before you today as we embark upon a journey to honor and to acknowledge the rich tapestry. Look at that over there, the display of African American heritage that has woven itself into the fabric of our nation and especially NJIT as well. We are proud, and I am very proud, to take this opportunity to reflect and shine a spotlight upon the impact of Black history and culture on our university community and our nation, as well as the contribution of Black Highlander themselves on our university. The Black students, the Black faculty, staff, alumni of NJIT have become innovators, leaders, and trailblazers. Again, innovators, leaders, and trailblazers. Their impact has enabled NJIT to become one of the most diverse campuses in America. Top 20 universities of graduating Black engineers. Top 20. How many universities are there in the United States? Anyone? More than 5,000. Being top 20 producing Black engineers is phenomenal. In addition, now, Dean Kam is over here. I'm not happy with top 20. Let's bring it down to top 10, all right? All right, good. A pact signed in blood. All right. In addition, it gets even better. 62% of all engineering degrees awarded to African American and Hispanic students by a New Jersey public institution are awarded by NJIT. 62%. Okay. We can always do better. We can always do better. We recognize that our diversity is among our greatest strength. This was mentioned a few times ago, just now. And Black History Month serves as a poignant reminder that the stories, the achievements, and the contribution of African Americans have indeed played an integral role in shaping the mosaic of American history and its success. It has significant impact on me. I'll tell you a little story off the script here. I saw Reverend Jesse Jackson, being displayed here, fairly quickly, along with Michelle Obama and others. I cannot help thinking back as I was sitting here. I was flying from DC back to Cincinnati decades ago. This was when I was in Dean Kamshu. I was the Dean of the College of Engineering and Applied Science in Cincinnati. I was about to board the plane, and my staff called me and say, Tech, the tsunami started at University of Cincinnati. I said, what do you call the tsunami? Well, on that day, the president got fired, multiple senior leadership got fired, and I said, do I have a job when I come back? It was a tsunami. The board of trustees, thanks to the board of trustees that they have good faith in me, they won't do that. The board of trustees have lost faith in the senior leadership, a part of the senior leadership. So I flew back, and I was distraught. I said, oh no, I don't know if I'm gonna have a job, maybe I'll go home, go to my desk, I'll have a pink slip. You know what a pink slip is, right? On my table, so I was afraid. I flew a lot back then, so I got free upgrade to first class. Okay? It's a positive move. I'm flying back on a first class free upgrade. And you know who sit beside me? Dr. Reverend Jesse Jackson. So he and I got into a conversation. He talked a lot about, the things that he got involved in, the struggle. You know, after having a conversation with him, I say, it doesn't matter what happened when I arrived back in Cincinnati. This man gone through a whole lot more. If he can do that, I can do that. I can survive through it. Well, guess what? Fortunately for me, I didn't get fired. I got a job, and I continue on serving the university, and eventually made it to NJIT. Okay? So, in a way, I guess Dr. Jesse Jackson has a profound impact on me, just like what I'm mentioning here. African American in this country, play an integral role in shaping the mosaic of American history. I'm part of the American history and its success. All of you are part of the American history and its success. So NJIT has always been committed to fostering an inclusive and equitable environment where every voice is heard, every fantastic story is valued, every individual who wants to do better for themselves and for others is empowered to thrive here. And I've always said, talent is everywhere, but opportunity is not. And NJIT's role is to align talent with opportunity here on this campus. So as we continue and as we come together to celebrate Black History Month, let us reaffirm our dedication to creating a campus that embraces diversity in all of its forms. Well, no matter what you do, you play a role in us embracing the diversity in all of its forms. It is my commitment to make NJIT one of the most welcoming campuses in America for those who want to come here, be successful, be a positive impact of the campus tapestry, and to make a difference. You're welcome here. So throughout this month, we have a series of events planned. Again, thanks to the committee that put this whole month of events together. That will not only educate, but also inspire, okay? From thought-provoking panel discussion and informative workshops to captivating performance and exhibitions to our keynote speaker today, Dr. Pinkett. I won't say a whole lot because someone else is going to introduce you. I'm like dean of students, I stick to the script. You are all invited to all of these events. And I'll be in some of them and hope to see you there. Again, thank you. Thank you so much for all that you do for NJIT and for supporting the Black History Month. Happy Black History Month. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your leadership and words of support for today's program. Now I'd like to introduce one of NJIT's champions for our diversity, Dr. Jason Baines. Appointed to the board in 2019, Dr. Jason Baines is a sports medicine orthopedic surgeon at Baines Orthopedics and Health East Medical Alliance based in Inglewood. He serves as an on-field physician for several high school football teams. He previously served as a team physician for professional and collegiate sports teams. Dr. Baines performs arthroscopies of the shoulder, knee, hip, and elbow. He has presented research on the science of ligament and tendon healing in injuries to the knee and shoulder. Dr. Baines completed his residency in orthopedic surgery at Mount Sinai Medical Center in New York and fellowship in arthroscopy and sports medicine at the University of Pennsylvania. At NJIT, he is a member of the Center for Pre-College Programs Advisory Board. He received his Bachelor of Science degree in molecular biology from Princeton University and Doctor of Medicine degree from Yale School of Medicine. Dr. Baines, please come to the podium.
Wow, this is amazing. Good afternoon. My name is Jason Baines. That doctor thing is like real for my patients, really, but whatever you want to call me, I would just prefer Jason. That's cool. So first of all, I want to welcome everybody here and send my greetings from the Board of Trustees. This is a truly amazing event. When I see all of these people here to celebrate Black History Month, it just makes me super proud. I was already proud to be a member of the Board of Trustees at NJIT because it's a phenomenal institution. But when I see events like this, it just deepens my heart to realize what we have at this university. There's just a couple of words that I want to pick up on. Before that, though, I must thank Dr. David Jones and Dr. Angela Garrettson for inviting me, first of all, and for being the people that you are to this university. They do so much for this university that I can't even go into it, but we must give them another round of applause and thank them very much. And of course, we have to thank our President and First Lady, Dr. Tech and Dr. Gina Lim, for everything that they support, because they have given us support. Every time I ask for something for Black people, they say, I'm gonna get on it. And so let's give them a round of applause also. So just a few words. I want to keep it short. We have a lot to do here. But opportunity, access, and talent, as Dr. Lim was talking about. And I want to talk about how NJIT has made that an impact on my life to make me a Black doctor. I'm not a Black engineer, but hopefully we get more Black doctors coming out of here. But when I was in 7th grade, so I was 1988, all I did was really play sports. But my mom was like, you can't just play sports. You got to do something else. You got to learn something during the summer. Are you crazy? Learn something during the summer? That sounds totally asinine to me. And she was like, no, you got to do it. So I got you this trip where you're going to take a bus from your school in Teaneck down to Newark. She said, excuse me? You want me to go to Newark in 1988? I was like, I don't know about that. And she's like, nah, you got to go because there's a pre-engineering program being offered at NJIT for minority students who like science. And I was like, I guess that was the only way that I'd be able to go to basketball camp. So I said, fine, I'll do it. So every morning, for 2 weeks, I took a bus from Teaneck, came down it was the Center for Pre-College Programs, pre-engineering program for minority students. And it was life-changing. And that is what Dr. Lim was talking about. There's talent equitably spent around the earth, but it's the opportunity and access that is not spent equally around this earth. And at NJIT, that program's been going on for 40 years and continues to succeed. That's how I came back here. In 2015, I got a call. They're like, oh, we see that you went to the CPCP program in 1988. And I was like, yeah, I did. And actually, that's what really got me interested in science and hands-on stuff. And that's what I do as an orthopedic surgeon. I'm a hands-on person. So they're like, do you want to be on our board? And I said, absolutely, because that was a life-changing experience. And that's what made me become a Black doctor. And that's why I've now wanted to be on the Board of Trustees once they asked me to do that, to keep promoting what we have at this school, which is just opportunity, access for the people that have the talent that otherwise would not be able to receive that opportunity and that access. So I thank all of you for being part of this. We need to celebrate Black History Month, but we know we need to learn. There's so much to learn about Black history. We do that on a daily basis, but this is our month to really celebrate. And as Dr. Jones said, it's 29 days. So let's get the party going on here. And I'm sure we have a lot more stuff to do today. So I just want to thank you guys once again for having me. And we'll meet outside for some lunch afterwards. But thank you, and thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jason. Your eloquent remarks during our Black History Month ceremony were both illuminating and motivational, thereby contributing to the significance of this momentous occasion. I would now like to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Randall Pinkett. Dr. Randall Pinkett leads business, technology, and equity for all as an entrepreneur, innovator, speaker, author, media personality, and DEI expert. He co-founded, chairs, and runs BCT Partners, a global multi-million-dollar research, training, consulting, technology, and data analytics firm based at NJIT's VentureLink that uses diversity, insights, and innovation to transform lives, accelerate equity, and create lasting change. Forbes named it one of America's best management consulting firms. Ernst & Young named it EY Entrepreneur of the Year. Manage HR magazine dubbed it a top 10 diversity and inclusion firm, and the Black Enterprise BE 100s designated it one of the nation's largest Black-owned businesses. Dr. Pinkett is a frequent guest on MSNBC, CNN, and Fox Business News as an expert in emerging technologies, big data analytics, social innovation, culture, diversity, equity, and inclusion. He published or co-wrote Black Faces in High Places, White Places, Data-Driven DEI, Campus CEO, and No Money Down CEO, and speaks worldwide. His degrees include a bachelor's in science in electrical engineering from Rutgers University, a master's in science and computer science from Oxford, an MBA and PhD from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and an honorary Doctor of Science from the New Jersey Institute of Technology. Notably, he was the first and only African American to receive the Rhodes Scholarship at Rutgers University. Inducted into the Academic All-America Hall of Fame as a former high jumper, long jumper, sprinter, and captain of the men's track and field team, and winner of The Apprentice. Dr. Pinkett is a proud member of the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated and First Baptist Church in Somerset, New Jersey, where he lives with his daughter and 2 sons. Born in Philadelphia and raised in New Jersey, Dr. Pinkett believes for those to whom much is given, much is expected. So he prioritizes community involvement throughout his career. With a round of applause, please help me welcome Dr. Randall Pinkett to the stage.
Life's a game, but it's not fair. I break the rules, so I don't care. Feel it coming in the air, and the screams from everywhere. I'm addicted to the thrill. It's a dangerous love affair. Can't be scared when it goes down. Got a problem? Tell me now. Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight.
Yeah, I said it, we are. This is Rock Nation. Pledge your allegiance. Get your fatigues on. All black, everything. Black cars, all black, everything. Ain't nobody fresher, I'm in. They say, Mark and Marcello on the table, screaming through the other side. They jealous, we got a banquet full of, they got a table full of fellas.
Feel it coming in the air, and the screams from everywhere. I'm addicted to the thrill. It's a dangerous love affair. Victories within the mile. Almost there, don't give up now. Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight. Who gonna run this town tonight?
Yeah.
All right, so that video was a hard act to follow. I'm done. I'm going to go back to my office. So first, let me say this. NJIT has been near and dear to my heart for many, many years now. I'm an entrepreneur, first-generation entrepreneur, and it's been a hard road for me and my co-founders, but somehow we were able to make a way out of no way. In 2004, we moved into the Venture Link here on the campus of NJIT, and it has been an absolute blessing to be a part of this university community. Everywhere I go, I carry my NJIT ID, in case you thought I was fronting. And this university blessed me by awarding me an honorary Doctor of Science, and I could not have been prouder to have received that distinction. And there were some tremendous luminaries that were recognized that year, and I'll never forget when they were announcing their accomplishments. It was humbling and mind-blowing, and it just was a reminder of how blessed I've been to be a Highlander
And so I want to just say thank you, NJIT, for making me a part of your family, and I've taken that to heart. Thank you very much. And to President and First Lady Lim, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your presence here as we kick off Black History Month and for your vision for this university. To our trustee, Dr. Baines, or is it Jason, as you prefer, thank you for your remarks and for your presence as a trustee and for your representation as a trustee. Thank you, Dr. Baines. I would be remiss if I didn't add my voice to the long and growing list of voices recognizing Dr. David Jones and Dr. Angela Garretson for what they mean to this university and what they've meant to me as well as friends, as role models, as peers. We've come up in some way together, and so it's so great to see you all in the roles you are in, leading the way that you lead. So give them once again a round of applause for what they do and how they do it. And to others who've been recognized, the Black History Month Committee, African Student Association, Black Student Union, Calypso, my fellow brothers and sisters of the National Society of Black Engineers, thank you all for your work behind the scene and around the scene and in front of the scene to bring this program to fruition. I want to speak to the following theme for my remarks, and it is the following, kind of piggybacking off of the theme for the event. It is our roots, our rhythm, our stories, this moment. Our roots, our rhythm, our stories, this moment. And my subtitle is Diversity, Not Reversity. Yeah, you better get ready. All right. So let's go to the slides. There we go. Oops, let's go back. Let's go right there. All right. So there are moments in everyone's life that are defining moments. In fact, this phenomenon of defining moments is such a significant component of life's experiences that defining moments have been talked about extensively. There are popular words and phrases that speak to these moments, such as reaching a crossroads, coming to a fork in the road, time to put up or shut up, it's all on the line, it's down to the wire, the final countdown, and then my dad's favorite, it's crunch time. Defining moments have been talked about and they've been written about in poems such as The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost, where he wrote that two roads diverge in a wood and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. You probably read that back in high school. And defining moments have even been rapped about and they've been sung about. Do we have anybody out here who knows who Shaka Khan is? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. All right, well, Shaka Khan's This Is My Night, where she says, this is my night. I'm going to do it just right. I'm going to make this magic shine. Eminem's hit song Lose Yourself from the movie 8 Mile, where he says, you only get one shot. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. Whitney Houston's Olympic Games classic song, One Moment in Time, where she says, give me one moment in time where I'm racing with destiny. And then the great theologians and prophets, Nicki Minaj and Drake, in the song Moment for Life, where Nicki says, I wish that I could have this moment for life. This is my moment. I feel so alive. Somebody was happy about that. Some Nicki fans in the building, all right. Defining moments are such a defining part of life that one could argue that life is nothing more than a series of defining moments. Keeping in mind, it is not the moment that defines us, but how we respond to the moment that ultimately defines us. We've all had these moments. If you haven't had a defining moment, you have not been living. I'm talking about moments you will never forget, such as a big test or exam in school that you had to pass the class, an audition for a dance or a theatrical production, an interview for a dream job, a major speech or presentation, a live performance of a poem or song or musical performance. And then, of course, those are moments we would love to remember, and then there are moments we would love to forget, such as the moment where you loaned money to Junebug or Ray Ray, followed by the moment when you realized you were never going to see that money back from Junebug or Ray Ray. Somebody said, come on. Depending on how we respond to these moments, they have the potential to take us down completely different paths in life. And if there's anything I've learned about defining moments, is that you always don't know when a defining moment is coming. And even if you do, you may not know that you're in the defining moment in that moment. And last but not least, if you are not prepared for that moment could easily pass you by. And so it is similarly the case with Black history. It is comprised of a series of moments, of quite memorable moments, etched in our collective consciousness. You know them, and I will refer to them as our roots. Our roots. I'm talking about moments such as January 1st, 1863. President Lincoln signs the Emancipation Proclamation, which calls for the freedom of enslaved Africans in Confederate states. But it is not until June 19th, 1865, that some 250,000 enslaved people only learned of their freedom in Galveston, Texas, a date now enshrined as Juneteenth. Circa September 1922, 59 years later, Robert Barney Newton becomes the first African-American student at NJIT. May 17, 1954, the landmark case Brown versus Board of Education, having been argued by Thurgood Marshall, rendered by the U.S. Supreme Court, defines separate as unequal and orders the desegregation of public schools. August 28, 1963, the March on Washington takes place, where the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivers his famous I Have a Dream speech. July 1st, 1970, Ken Gibson, a graduate of NJIT, is sworn in as mayor of Newark and the first black mayor of a major northeastern city. February 7th, 2024, NJIT proudly recognizes 3 African Americans on President Lim's cabinet. And I'm going to name them again, including Dr. Angela Garretson, Chief Government and Community Relations Officer, Dr. Mary Beth Boger, Vice President of Student Affairs and Dean of Students, and Dr. David E. Jones, NJIT's first Chief Diversity Officer. Again, these moments represent our roots to today's theme. So as I reflect on these and other classic moments in Black history, I don't think I'm being too grandiose in saying that we are squarely situated right in the middle of another defining moment. And this one relates to 3 very specific words: diversity, equity, and inclusion, also known as DEI. We find ourselves at a DEI defining moment that could determine its fate for the foreseeable future on college campuses and beyond. And if you didn't know, you better ask somebody. But before I talk about the defining moment that we're in, let me briefly talk about the moments defining where we've been. And I want to begin at the turn of the century, the year 2000. And I want to describe for you 2 competing and parallel trends beginning at 2000, setting the stage for 2024. The first trend should come as no surprise to this audience, for this day, for this celebration, and that trend is increasing societal diversity. No surprise. I remember in the 1990s, talk about the 80s, we would talk about Workforce 2000. It was this futuristic prediction of the shifting demographics that were anticipated. Well, Workforce 2000 is darn near 25 years in the making. You see it in this room, you see it on this campus, you see it across our country. So-called minorities will be the majority of our country in the year 2042, 18 years away. They are already the majority in Hawaii, California, Texas, Nevada, Maryland, Georgia, and will be the majority in New York and Florida in less than a decade. 70% of new entrants to the workforce today, 70% are women and people of color. Babies born today in New Jersey are majority minority. You can accept this, I tell others, or you can move to the 51st state of the union, the state of denial. But alongside this increasing societal diversity has also been increasing social discord. Fast forward from 2000 to 2020, a 20-year span, more specifically Memorial Day 2020, a day that will forever be memorialized. It was May 25th, 2020. You all will remember exactly where you were. When Minneapolis, Minnesota police officer Derek Chauvin inhumanely, yet nonchalantly, placed his knee on the neck of George Floyd for 9.5 minutes, as Mr. Floyd repeatedly said he could not breathe, ultimately resulting in his untimely death. The rest is both history and tragedy. His murder led to outrage, an outpouring of emotion, rally cries for change, global protests, long overdue calls for social justice and equity. It was unquestionably a defining moment unlike any moment we've seen in our lifetimes. According to some sources, corporations pledged $340 billion to social justice causes. More than a quarter of $1 trillion. And the support for DEI and the business of DEI was booming. That's trend number one, which I will encapsulate very simply under the word diversity. And then somehow, somewhere, some way, concomitant with that trend, the winds began to wane. The sands began to shift, and the tides began to turn. Said differently, if 2020 was a defining moment for DEI in a positive direction, 2021 to 2024 have been a series of defining moments in a deeply disturbing and diametrically opposed direction. And it happened swiftly. I'm going to go fast, so stay with me. May 2021, outspoken critics of critical race theory, or CRT, began to amplify their voices with legislation outlawing CRT in schools being passed in Idaho, Iowa, Oklahoma, and Tennessee, and proposed in other states where CRT wasn't even being taught. July 2022, Florida enacts the Stop Woke Act to restrict how race issues are taught in K-12 schools and public universities, imposing stiff sanctions for violations. September 2022, 1,477 books are banned across our country, led the way by Texas with 438, Florida 357, Missouri 315, and then there was the landmark decision last year. The Supreme Court ruled by a vote of 6-3 that the use of affirmative action in college admissions effectively violates the Constitution's Equal Protection Clause. And while this was a very narrow ruling, admissions in higher education, it sent shockwaves throughout our country, throughout our campuses, and throughout our society on all things related to DEI. January 2nd of this year, Claudine Gay, Harvard's first black president, admits criticism, and her comments about the genocide of Jewish people at a congressional hearing, fueled by attacks from DEI opponents, her tenure would last 6 months. And now we find ourselves here in February 2024, gathered on the campus of our beloved NJIT to celebrate Black History Month against the backdrop of trend number 2, which I will encapsulate very simply under one word: reversity. Organized resistance to diversity, equity, and inclusion. In stark contrast to 2000 to 2020, a 20-year span, to then 2021 to now the precipice of 2024, a 3-year span, we have seen DEI goals being rolled back, minority business programs being challenged, DEI officers and their departments being dismantled, the very programs that Black Americans and so many other Americans fought for, from Reconstruction to the Civil Rights era, being disbanded. And this is in 2024, when Black college and university enrollment dropped 22% from 2010 to 2020, and then tuition rose 174% to the average private tuition of $50,000 per academic year. Have mercy. Are you kidding me? Are you joking? That says to me what my grandmama always told me. She says that means the money is still funny and change is still strange. Meanwhile, paradoxically, we find ourselves now at a crossroads in higher education. a philosophical, political, and practical tug of war between trend number 1, diversity, and trend number 2, reversity, and we are left with one singular, all-encompassing question: which way will this go? Well, as it relates to that question, let me make one thing unequivocally clear. I don't know what the answer is, but I know where the answer lies. And it lies in each and every one of you, in me, in us, in we. The stage is set. The curtain is drawn. The lights are on, and the defining moment is now. All that remains, much like so many other moments we've witnessed in Black history, is for us to respond to the moment. But to do that, we have to respond to the moment together in unity. And that is my message for all of us gathered here today to celebrate Black History Month 2024, who believe in diversity, who believe in the efforts that produces doctors and produces PhDs and produces deans and produces all the leaders that we saw here today. But let me also be clear for those who are advocating for reversity, to the naysayers who would seek to eliminate DEI programs in higher education and corporate America and would have these initiatives go away. I have 4 words that I will say 5 times. Not on our watch, not on our watch, not on our watch, not on our watch, not on our watch. And darn sure not in Black History Month. So let me shift from the roots to the rhythm. A rhythm is a repeated pattern of movement. So my brothers, my sisters, it is not time to sit on the sidelines. It's time for movement, for action. So if I could offer any practical advice, I'll offer just 2 things. To not miss the moment at the crossroads of diversity and reversity, it would be that there are 2 things we can do to take action, movement, and rhythm. First is to show up, and second is to speak out. Allow me to invite you now to enter my classroom. I'll take notes for you. First is to show up. To not miss this defining moment, we've got to show up. Woody Allen once said that 80% of success in life is just showing up. So your presence here today is more than half the battle. The other 20% is we cannot just occupy the same space. We have to get connected to each other in meaningful ways beyond the superficial that transcend background, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, culture, all the things that often can separate us. See, I believe that the single greatest threat to our democracy are the growing divides in our society. I'm talking about the gap between the haves and the have-nots, the wealthy and the poor, the rich and the rest, young and old, black and white, LGBTQ and straight, Democrats and Republicans, agnostics and believers, Fox versus MSNBC versus CNN, and then the longest standing divide that is tearing the Black community apart. Black folk who eat grits with sugar and those who eat grits with salt. Watch me, watch me. By a show of hands, who eats grits with sugar? Watch me. Who eats grits with salt? There it is, right there. Everyone looked at each other like they were crazy. You think I'm lying? Ask somebody. Oh, wait, one more show of hands. Who doesn't even eat grits? All right, fair enough. That's inclusion right there. So one of my favorite TED Talks is by a Turkish storyteller named Elif Shafak. And in her TED Talk, she reminds us that we're all born into a certain social and cultural circle. That is, we're all born into a certain race, a certain gender, a certain ethnicity, a certain nation, a certain community, a certain culture. But if we have no connection outside of the world we take for granted, we can suffer the equivalent of a social and cultural death. Increasingly, our society is comprised of what I call and what she calls communities of the like-minded. That we find ourselves surrounded with people who look like us, think like us, eat the same food, speak the same language, share the same values, come from the same neighborhoods. And the danger of these communities of the like-minded that surround so many of us, including me at times, is that there's nothing wrong with associating with people like you unless you are less prone to associate with people who are not like you. we can become more prone in our community of the like-minded to cast stereotypes and projections onto those who are outside of our community of the like-minded. The irony is, as our country continues to diversify, all we seem to be doing is driving deeper into our communities of the like-minded, which undermines our greatest asset, NJIT's greatest asset, our cultural differences, and exacerbates our greatest liability, our cultural ignorance. In the absence of real dialogue, real interactions with people who are different than you, our ignorance, our inequities will exist because our ignorance will persist. In other words, diversity has the potential to save our democracy or destroy our democracy. So I'm challenging you first and foremost. I'm challenging me. I'm challenging myself, I'm challenging we to step outside of your comfort zone, expand your circle of real relationships with people who are not like you, who don't look like you, don't talk like you, don't come from where you come from, are different in how they live, and do so at a level beyond the superficial. Because the only way we re-stitch and reconstitute this frayed fabric of our society is by building bridges across difference. Because those bridges across difference breed familiarity. Familiarity breeds understanding, and understanding leads to less misunderstanding. It's that simple. So first of my 2 points, if you don't want to miss the defining moment for diversity to triumph over reversity, we need greater understanding now more than ever before. So I'm not suggesting you have to have the most diverse relationships. I am suggesting you must have diversity in your relationships, an area I'm working on myself. Closing quote on my first point, that we are not meant to see through each other, but to see each other through. So let's see each other for who we are and all the beauty of our differences, but get to know each other in a deep and meaningful way, because our society desperately needs that today. Second and final point. First was to speak up. Second is to speak. First was to show up. Second, to speak out. And that is when you're privy to discussions that you know to be in direct opposition to creating more diversity at NJIT. When you're in the room and you hear or see something said that excludes somebody else. When you're made aware of efforts that are divisive and not inclusive, you got 4 choices, folks. I call them the 4 Fs. The first is that you can take flight, you can run. I'm not going to deal with it. I'm going to go and I'm going to run away from the issue. Second is you can forego the issue. I can't deal with it now. I don't have enough power, but maybe later I'll tackle the issue. Third, you can freeze and do nothing. In the words of General Okoye from Black Panther, don't freeze. And fourth and finally, you can fight. Take direct action. Channel the rhythm that we're here to talk about. Address the issue, tackle it head on. Now, I'm not here to tell you what you should fight for. I am here to tell you the 2 most important days of your life are the day you were born and the day you figure out why you were born. I'm here to tell you that you were sent here on a mission, which begs the question, what's your mission? Or said differently, what are you willing to fight for? I'm imagining some of you are already at the front lines of doing the work I'm describing, so this might be preaching to the choir, but sometimes the choir needs a sermon. So if you need to draw strength from our roots, take action with our rhythm, and then be inspired by our stories. The legacy of Black history is the legacy of inspiring stories. And on that, I will close. I'm talking about stories such as recognizing that somebody who couldn't spell college kicked down a door so you could go to college. Stories such as somebody refused to go to the back of a bus so you could sit at the front of the class. Somebody sat in at a lunch counter so you could walk through the doors of corporate America. Somebody languished in a concrete cell so you could break through a glass ceiling. Somebody marched down a street so you could run your own business. And somebody sacrificed their life so you and I could find greater meaning in our lives. If you don't want to miss the defining moment for diversity to triumph over reversity, accept the responsibility that at some point you have to be willing to fight for something because somebody fought for you. And that could take several forms. students. That could mean working jointly with administration to ensure a student body that is representative of our state, our country, and our city of Newark. Faculty, that could mean doubling down on efforts to ensure that this campus is welcoming to Black students and other underrepresented students. Administrators, that could mean advocating for change, strategically but unapologetically, when your colleagues, despite their best intentions, may be overreacting or playing it safe in light of the current environment. The common denominator is that for whatever form it takes for you, it's going to require a risk. Said more simply, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for what? What do you stand for? That's what it means to show up. That's what it means to speak out. And that's what it means to not miss this defining moment in Black history. As I go to my seat, if there is anything I hope you take away from this NJIT Black History Month celebration 2024, I hope it is a renewed commitment and a deeper understanding that somebody didn't miss their defining moment, so you wouldn't miss this defining moment. So let's work together, NJIT, to make the crossroads of diversity and reversity a one-way street. God bless you, and thank you for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Pinkett, for those very inspiring words. All right. We would now like to introduce our organizations and programs happening for this month. So starting off with the African Student Association, we are an organization that aims to benefit the NJIT community by educating it about African community and culture through educational and cultural activities. We wish to invite the community to not only learn about our organization, but participate and share our culture. Our programs for this year's Black History Month are as follows. So the first event, we have Don't Touch My Hair, which is happening next Monday in the same room, same ballroom, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And this event is basically just celebrating Black hair care. And so we're raffling off Black hair care products, nail appointments, free haircuts. So it's going to be a pretty big event right here. And then we also have a fashion show coming up February 21st. Again, also in this room from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., where you can watch your fellow NJIT students walk the NJIT runway. So,
Next is Calypso. The Caribbean Students Organization's mission is to implement a Caribbean experience through knowledge, food, song, and dance, to educate students on Caribbean history and culture, to bring people of different backgrounds together while enjoying what each other have to offer, and to contribute to the diversity and culture of NJIT's campus. This Black History Month, we will be hosting the Hot Topics General Body meeting next Wednesday, February 14th, where we will discuss subjects of debate amongst the Caribbean population. And on Thursday, February 22nd, we will have our annual carnival, an event inspired by the holiday that is celebrated throughout the Caribbean with lively parades and colorful costumes. Thank you.
And next we have the National Society of Black Engineers. The NSBE chapter at NJIT was first founded as the Black Association of Student Engineers in 1980. BASE hosted the first career fair here at NJIT, mainly seeking employment for the African American student population. The chapter became a recognized NSBE chapter in 1987, and ever since, NSBE NJIT has been able to fulfill the NSBE mission statement, which is to increase the number of culturally responsible Black engineers who excel academically, succeed professionally, and positively impact the community through its academic, professional, and community outreach programs. Our programs for Black History Month start today at 6 p.m. we will be having a Black Women in STEM panel in the Campus Center atrium, and then we'll be having a financial literacy workshop on February 9th, and then on February 12th we'll be having a Black Excellence in Engineering seminar, and then we will have the Union of Black Students will have a Family Feud game night, and we will have an R&B throwback as well as a basketball tournament, and we will close the Black History Month with our annual Martin Luther King dinner. You can find all the details for the calendar of events in, like if you scan the QR code. I will now like to start for the closing remarks. As a community, we come together today under the theme of our roots, our rhythms, our stories, celebrating the tapestry of Black family, artistry, and unity. To honor the vibrant heritage and resilience of the Black community, throughout this month, let us delve into the rich tapestry of Black history, embracing the diverse narratives, rhythms, and expressions that have shaped our collective identity. As we celebrate the enduring legacy of Black family artistry and unity, let us also recognize the strength and power that lies in our interconnectedness. Through solidarity and collaboration, we can continue to uplift each other, amplify Black voices, and pave the way for a future rooted in equity and inclusion. I would like once again to thank our sponsors who have, through monetary donations and others, enabled us to put on this program and the various programs celebrating this year's Black History Month. Our sponsors are Dean of Students, the Newark College of Engineering, the College Science of Liberal Arts, Athletics, Residence Life, the Murrah Center for Women in Technology, the Office of Inclusive Excellence, the Office of Government and Community Relations, and the Gourmet Dining Services.
Special shout out to Dr. Vincent Oria for lending his art collection. Special shout out to Delali Kumaple, first year computer science major, for creating the logos around the theme and patiently working with the committee to provide any and all updates needed. All committee members present, please stand up. Thank you so much for pulling this event together and making this occasion a memorable, informative, and inspiring event. Last but not least, we would like to thank Sanjanette Worley, Associate Director of Residence Life, for working tirelessly all hours to keep everything running and on track. She has truly been the foundation and a quiet force behind the committee. We must also not forget Maurice Moore and the Art and Entertainment Committee. The Tubbs leadership, great job in serving as mistresses of ceremonies and moving the program along beautifully. You dedicated your time and energy to ensure that the student body played a crucial role in the success of this year's Black History Month, and also ensure that your membership stayed informed and participated.
Special thanks to Dr. Angela Garrison for all her guidance and dedication. Your input has been invaluable to the planning and execution of the opening ceremony and the entire Black History Month programs, especially the Black History Month speaker series. Of course, it goes without saying thank you to Dr. David Jones and the Office of Inclusive Excellence for jumping right in and helping guiding us, ensuring funding, and all other aspects that is needed to plan and execute activities for Black History Month. And lastly, I would like to thank Tubbs. Okay, that's it, yep. And thank you guys for joining us in commemorating this event. We may all be inspired to carry forward this spirit of celebration, reflection, and unity throughout our university and beyond.
So, I know everybody is waiting to eat some food. So the food is being catered by King's Family Restaurant. It is the halal menu. As we eat, the young Picassos will grace us again with their melodious music. We're going to start with the reserved tables, and then people who have to go to classes, and everyone else after that. Thank you. What is it? It was halal. I gotta go tell them.
school, class to graduation photos.
Got his name?
It was like my high school class to graduation photos.
We got everybody. Got his name? Are you ready? Really? Who's that? Juju?
graduation photos.
I see everybody. Got his name?